we're blowing the tool budget, we went with the aftermarket tank, fuel tank. It's about 30 inches long, 12 wide, and 9 inches high. I think it's a 15-gallon tank. Anyways, it should fit down in next to the engine here. I'm going to keep it up high so the fill cap's near the top. It needs to clear the diagonal braces there at the bottom anyways to have enough width. So I'm going to keep it up near the top above that. And I need to make some sort of mounting system with some padding on it and some straps to hold it in place. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. But to get this in here, I actually have to pull the engine back out because there's not a lot of room with that angle brace up there to slide it in from the end. So just pull the engine back out. That's only a couple bolts to take out, and we'll start making our supports for the gas tank. Bar across, down, set them on top there. Get some kind of strap that goes around the whole gas tank so it doesn't slide around. Put a little padding down on there. Yeah, that should be fine. All right, I think that's what we'll do. We'll make two sort of triangles here, and the gas tank can sit on that. This is not going to be level, but I can use a level to see if these are sitting at a similar angle and if I need to make any adjustments. This one definitely needs to drop down on this side to match the angle of this one. Which is fine, that's good. Dropped it down some, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good right at that height. Very close, okay. So, notch a little bit out. Fit around there. This one I'm going to notch halfway onto the diagonal. this back one, I just need to take a little bit off. Okay, maybe you can see a little better what we're doing now. So I was just putting my finger under this end of the level. So I'm not really seeing if it's level, I'm just seeing if they're even. Just try to check that. Okay, and they look pretty even. So the next test will be set the gas tank on. Make sure it seems the right height. Back one is definitely too high and too tight. Look at those cuts with the bandsaw. You gotta love that. Some nice cuts. Let's try this again. I can rock it just a little bit. I just bump that in a little bit, just a tiny bit, and it doesn't rock anymore. That's good. So just mark that. I think that'll make a nice little mount there. As we look at this gas tank here, of course we have the gas cap, the fuel level sensor, and I had to get a matching fuel gauge 0 to 90 ohm that will read that properly. I have to get some fittings for on top of here, and I'll get some 90-degree ones. They need to go to a 1/4 inch barb. Cutting this out of the way is long overdue. Been tripping over this thing for a month or more. Finally. All right, let's get this thing out of here. Okay, boy, that feels nicer. Wow. Can actually walk in here now. It is far beyond time to fix this grinder cord. Terrible. So let's work on that for a few minutes. Got these little fittings on here that I'm not going to be able to replicate. Okay, let's see, what did it say? Weight is going on my side. So that goes like that. corners. Black goes like that. Test the trigger, make sure that feels alright. Should lock in. Yep, it does. Alright, pull a new cord. Go test it out. Alright, we'll see how long that one lasts. Grinder cords don't last too long. Alright, I got my gas tank, little shelf here welded in. And I'm going to put some bungees on that. And I'm going to put a little bit of foam on any edges that could contact the side of the boat. So I'll show you what I'm doing with that. I have a little bit of this neoprene gasket. I'm going to slice that in half and put that on each side. Some good old bungee cords around the and I might just take off the hook and put a screw in on this side, attach that, come around the tank, and then either hook on somewhere, maybe drill a hole. Yeah, let's do that. Some large, wide sponge windowsill. It's a little tight right here. So just in case it walks over a little bit. In case that slams over, let's get a little cushioning there now. And I think we'll put a little bit right here. Slides all the way forward, it'll have cushioning there. And then I just need to check the back here. Oh, right down here next to the fiberglass. You see that? I'm gonna put a strip there. There we go. We got our gas tank mounted and strapped. Next we're going to work on the floor here. So I'm going to use a piece of the 1/4 inch thicker metal where the seats go, because I want something really solid to fasten the seat pedestals to. I got the pedestals for the boat off of Temu, and I think I got them for $54 each, which is a really good deal. And they rotate, they go up and down, and they slide front back. So I like the adjustability of them. And I'm going to attach them to the 1/4 inch plate. That might be a little overkill, but I want it to be plenty strong because obviously safety factor, you want your seat mounting very strong. So I'm going to use the 1/4 inch plate where the seats go. And then for the rest of the floor, I'm going to use some angle and build a flat section and just put some PVC 1/2 inch thick material on that, like some AZEK or similar PVC product. And that'll get foam on top of that and the 1/4 inch. So I think that'll make for a nice floor. It'll be especially strong underneath the seats where we need it. And I'm looking forward to having a nice flat surface in here to work on. As far as foam, I am thinking of putting a little bit of foam under the floor. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but it would be nice to have a little bit of safety factor with some foam. I'm not doing any of the pour foam. I do have some foam pieces left from the jet ski. I might put some of those up in the bow and in the back, possibly. So I'm thinking about that, and then I'm going to get a sheet of 1.5 inch or 2 inch to put underneath some sections of the floor here. So a little bit of flotation foam is a good idea. It doesn't add hardly any weight. It's super light, but it's just a good good safety factor to have if something were to happen. So next is going to be making this piece. I probably won't video that welding the piece on, but basically I'm just going to take my sheet of 1/4 inch that I have here, and I'm going to weld a 2 inch strip on one end of it, and I have some 3/16 leaning up over there. So we're going to cut these supports all the way over to the sides, and then we'll leave a section on here, and then we'll weld an upright on here, and then bolt those two pieces together. That'll give a little bit of side to side support right there. I think that'll be good. Little side flanges. All right, I like that. That's going to tie in the side of the boots with this nice solid piece of 1/4 inch aluminum. Our seats are going to be attached to that, and then I'll have 4 bolts coming up through the bottom too, and 2 bolts through these uprights. So that should be nice and strong. And it'll be removable too. If I ever want to take this section of floor back up, I'll be able to take it up. Okay, so we get a nice straight line between these 2 points. So I'm going to cut a piece of angle, 9 inches. Alright, here we are working on the Jetboat another day, and I think we want to work on this bulkhead I'm gonna cut that and fit that to size. Gonna make that out of one piece, hopefully of a PVC sheet. And then for the front of the floor, I need to put some supports and build a flat floor in here. And then we're just gonna cover that with the same material, a 1/2-inch PVC sheet. Nosy chickens. Are you checking up on me? I know you are. That looks good. So I'm gonna use this same material, the PVC, and fill in this spot. So I need to use some aluminum angle and build a couple flat supports around, and then we'll put the PVC down on top of that. There you can see the weld line, the inside of the weld line from where we attached the hull armor underneath. So we got really nice, good penetration there, as you can tell. We have 1.5 angle, just some thin stuff. We have aluminum rivets and a rivet gun. So we just have to make something flat here. Okay, that's the back side of a rivet. Now you can see these are longer rivets than are needed, but they'll be fine. They just stick out a little bit more. These are long rivets. That's just what I had in my drawer, so we're using them. It's underneath the floor. Yeah, that's relatively straight. We need to run some this way in between those 2 points. floor support. Should be pretty good. So now we're ready to cut some of the PVC sheeting. I think we'll let it curve up. It's pretty bendy, but I think we'll let it curve up the side of the boat a little bit. So we're gonna make a sort of a trapezoid, a triangle with the tip cut off. That's what we're shooting for. Guys, I want to raise up the front section of floor, their trapezoid that we made, just a little bit. So I cut this out of some scrap and a couple spacers. So I'm going to space it up about 3/8 of an inch at the front. Straighter, that should be nice. I'm going to put a little bit of this foam down underneath the floor. This stuff is nice for using under the floor because it doesn't soak in the water. It's pretty impermeable to water. A lot of guys will use this under their floor. So I'm going to put a few pieces in here, and I'll probably put some underneath the engine hatch there in the back. I might use some of the old jet ski foam for the back there too, just as a safety feature. And this does have its old foam up underneath here, if you can see that. But it's got a nice big piece of foam up there. And I do have the old bow foam from the jet ski I may put down in there. And I'm planning to put the battery case up underneath there too, if I can find a way to strap it down. Some old foam blocks from the jet ski. A nice shape to them. That'll fit back under that side, and I cut one for over on that side. You can see it. This guy right here. I'll probably just put a dab or two of either silicone or spray foam on them just to hold them down. Here we go. We got a little flotation in the back, a little bit up front and a little bit up in the bow. I do have this piece too for the front, so I think I'm going to shape that a little bit and get that placed way up front. And that is amazing how it is to the right size. Almost have to cut these two off, and then I have to shape the sides a little bit so it sits down in, but it's almost just the right size. That tells you how big a jet ski is for two people, or maybe how small this boat is. It's just a little boat.
That's looking pretty good. My battery box will sit down in the middle here. I have to carve a little bit more out of that, but it's looking good.
I have a few holes on the back of the boat that I want to fill in down here in the transom, just from previous stuff that was mounted on there. And I got some brazing rods. I want to try them, see how they do with filling in the holes. These are the rods I end up getting. They're called Blue Demon. Check the reviews if you're buying any. I'll put the link for these ones down in the description if this works out. But some of them seem to work okay. Some seem to not work. So let's see if this works. Here's after those two holes are filled and sanded off. Well, that does a pretty nice job, those filler sticks. You need to get it hot enough around the edge of the hole that the brazing rod will start to coat the surface, and then it's hot enough to kind of dab it in there. I think it's a good product. It's definitely good for filling in some small holes on an aluminum boat, so I would recommend that. All right, remember friends,